Hey everyone, I'm the Moon Mama. And
Hi, I'm Taylor.
Ain't she pretty? So Taylor, tell everyone who you are. You go ahead.
I'm a singer, songwriter, now based in Los Angeles, and Nick is my cousin, auntie,
Yes.
everything.
We were raised in one of those families where her mother raised me like her daughter, but her mother was my grandmother who was really raising me, my grandmother's daughter. And so she was like my mother and my sister. And so now Taylor is here. And so Taylor is like my cousin and my daughter and my niece. Because that's, when you're raising everybody, when families are like, you come live with me, that kind of stuff, right? And so then you grow up with people like that. So I wanted to invite Taylor today because we're going to have a conversation about Saturn's return. Saturn is going to be going into Aquarius on March 22nd, which is in about a week or so. And Saturn has been transiting Capricorn for the last year and a half. And you see how much our lives have changed. The structures of our lives have really started to shift. Have you seen that in your own life?
Absolutely.
Can you give me an example?
Well, I feel like my resolve for like discipline and ethic, like it's become necessary for me to have a routine. And embracing that has made stuff way easier.
Yes. See? So first of all, the younger generations, they really get it. Like they are
No, they don't.
No, they do get it. Here's why because they're not as dense as the older generations are. So we've been conditioned so much. We are conditioned by the culture, we're conditioned by religion. And it's not that the younger ones aren't conditioned, but it has changed so much. Like there was a time in our culture where if you weren't a Christian, that was just blasphemy. There was a time in our culture if there were all these ideas that were, like, remember the down under thing, or like, what is it called, down under, when black men were gay, but they weren't saying it. What was it called?
Down low.
Down low, right? So there was a time when being gay was just an abomination, right? So now the young ones are born and they aren't having to do the heavy lifting with like their sexuality in the ways that we were, because we have paved the way. So they just are freer than we are generally. So the generation that Taylor's in, how old are you?
27.
Okay, so this generation is about to enter their Saturn's return. Saturn's return is what happens between the age of 27 and 30 when you meet your karma, right? Saturn governs karma, and it's usually your family karma. And it's between the ages of 27 and 30 that you have to look at your life and see who you really are, who you've become. What have you learned from your family? And then how will you now live your life going forward? Saturn takes 27 or so years to come around, or 29 years. And so now that's where Taylor is. And so it's coming into Aquarius. And Aquarius is the energy of innovation. It's about being true to yourself, like weirdly true to yourself, like the things about you that would ostracize you, the things about you that would make you so different that you don't fit in, right? That's what Aquarius is about. So Saturn in Aquarius coming on the 22nd will be there for a year and a half, and it's going to ask us to absolutely understand our identities. Like, so the places where you are not being true to yourself, where you are not recognizing who God created you to be, will be exacerbated and irritated in this year and a half period. So, how's that going for you already, Miss Taylor?
Well, half of me was like, what do you mean Saturn's return hasn't come yet? I'm like, it gets worse.
So tell me, like, what are you going through right now?
It's just been, adulthood has just kind of hit me over the head. It's like, things are real. Like, what are you gonna do? And I think this is a time where I'm understanding that actions, there are multitudes of them, and they have consequences. And you don't really know them unless you choose something. And so I've been out here like, but what if I don't want to choose nothing, because I don't want to have any bad consequences?
Yeah.
And I feel like Saturn is the planet of if it's karma, it's really just consequence.
Right, exactly. Right. Well, it
doesn't have to be bad. It's
doesn't.
just it's the cause of events. But
That's
you have
right.
to make a choice to have any kind of like cause of events happen.
Well, so the thing is, what Saturn is what you put out is what you get back, right? It's so sweet because somebody like, well, depending on who you are, but like Taylor, for instance, Taylor is a naturally loving, naturally compassionate. Don't get me wrong, she has her stuff like every person does, right? But she is a seeker. She is curious. She is creative. She can sing.
I knew she was gonna make me sing. Not right now.
Okay.
Into my feelings.
Okay, right. She has such a beautiful voice. And so it's this opportunity for you to really see what your life is and how you created it. Like, so, but not how you created it from the job you're doing or from, or, you know, from how you look, but how you created it from your inside, right? What does that sound like for you?
From your choices.
Right.
From your choices, conscious or not.
Right.
And for me, it's I think the deeper thing is like the choices I didn't know I wasn't making, because I'm realizing choosing not to make a choice is a choice.
Wow.
Deciding to be indecisive is a choice, and that is just wild.
Isn't that amazing?
Isn't that wild?
Ain't she pretty? That's my little sweetie right there. Because that's it, right? Like just being able to see that not making a choice is a choice, right? And then you get to look and see how long have you been doing that in your life and why. Like maybe you weren't making choices because somebody else was making choices for you. Mm-hmm. You know? Does that resonate?
Yeah. Or not making choices because you're scared of outcomes. Which gets to a place of like trying to control things when you don't have control over like those kind of circumstances other than the thing that you say you want. Like you only have control over what you're doing. You don't have control over like what's going to happen from what you choose to do.
Right. Absolutely. So Saturn's return. So what are the things, we only have a few more minutes, but what are you going to do? What are you thinking about as Saturn's return is approaching for you?
Well, I know that Saturn is in my 12th house, and you know, I've been told it's governed by Pisces, so it's really like subconscious realm. Like I've read as much as I could about it, and I still don't know that much. It's a very like woo house, right. But I know that it's really about getting spiritually together, and especially in this time of just like what is going on,
right?
Returning to myself, because that's all I can do. There's no controlling this wild stuff out here,
right?
You know,
that's really wonderful, because I think the thing that's important for us to understand that Saturn in Aquarius is about being absolutely true to your unique self, like rebelling against the way things were, right? Like you grew up in a certain way and you were told that things are going to be, but literally rebelling. Like an entire generation of young people are turning 28, 29, 30 at this time when we're having all these crises. We're having political crisis, we're having health crisis, all of that. And it's like, how do you learn to trust yourself? That's what Aquarius is about, absolute trust of self. Like, what do you want to be, or who are you at the core of yourself? If none of this mattered, who are you? What did God design you to be? Like literally, it's like, what's your internal design? And that's what you're going to have the next year and a half to work out.
How fun. Fun stuff.
It's so fun. So anyway, you guys tell them where they can find you.
Okay, yeah, I'm a musician. You can check me my full name, Taylor Simone Harvey, on Instagram and all other stuff.
That's right. And on YouTube, she can sing. One day I'm going to get her to come here and sing for you guys. All right. Peace and blessings. I'm the Moon Mama. I'll be doing Saturn returns readings. I'll also be doing Saturn readings for people who are older, just because we're all going to be going through this too. And we need to understand our identity more and be true to ourselves. Peace and blessings, everyone. I'm the Moon Mama. Bye.
Bye.